Well, this isn't exactly a surprise, but apparently Google Stadia is now dead. They've been promising for the last couple years that eventually they would have some big exclusive games that were coming to the service. Well, everything they've been working on has just been canceled. What's up, gamers? Dreamcastguy here, and just minutes ago, there's this article that popped up over on Kotaku about the fact that Google Stadia has decided to shut down all their internal studios, every single one of them. That way they can change their business focus. Now, before we even get into the corporate jargon here, we just have to laugh about the fact that this service, let's face facts, this came out in late 2019. This was launched in like September 2019. We're now in February 2021, and it's already dead. This lasted less than 2 total years, and Google is such a mega billion-dollar corporation. Like, even one of the biggest, strongest, most powerful companies on the planet could not get this idea to actually float. Now, let's face facts, part of this is just because they were trying to overpromise and underdeliver. The idea behind this was that instead of having a powerful gaming PC or a next-gen gaming console, you could play any game as long as you had a fast enough internet connection. By just having something connected like your PC or your cell phone or even just a TV screen, you could play their games streamed directly to your freaking TV. Now, this is a good idea. I think the freaking imagination of it is fun, but it's just not possible. The technology is not here yet. And I mean, if there's any other proof than it, it is the fact that people just did not support it. People are now talking to Kotaku and saying that any project that was slated for release after 2021 has just been canceled. There are a few games that maybe, if they're close to release dates, may still come out. Now, here's the biggest thing I really want to try and just hammer down, which is the fact that I think that Google Stadia failed for a very specific reason, which is that gamers still care about ownership. Like, obviously I'm a big physical game collector, but even when it comes to just digital games, the ability to have something installed on your hard drive, an ability to play it when you want, delete it when you want, put it back whenever you want, like, there is a certain amazement, there's a certain like honor to having a game and beating it and enjoying it. Whereas Google Stadia, everything being completely in the cloud, it brings up a lot of questions of ownership. Like, if I am only able to stream these games, what happens if I get banned at a game? Like, if I'm playing Call of Duty and I'm camping in a corner and I kill somebody 20 times, will I get perma-banned off of Google Stadia? Can I get in trouble for using voice chat wrong? Like, could I get banned out of the games I own because everything is completely streamed? It's an idea that just seemed bad from the very, very start, but now they're definitely paying for it. Google is closing its 2 game studios that are located in Montreal and Los Angeles, and this closure will impact about 150 developers, one source familiar with Stadia operations said. The company said that it'll try and find developers new roles at Google. Real quick, right now I'm actually laughing about this. I mean, I've never been a big fan of Google Stadia. You can go back and see my videos from years ago. I've always thought that this was an experiment that was definitely going to fail. I do want to give them props. Right now, finding a job is hard. Getting employment, very, very difficult. So the fact that Google Stadia is trying to still make sure that they have a job at Google, these people aren't just being thrown out on the streets or given a tiny unemployment check, like, props to Google for doing the right thing. Like, you have infinite money. I'm glad you're using it to not completely screw these people over. But here's the developer that I've been the most curious about, which is Jade Raymond. Now, Jade Raymond, she's one of the main people that was behind the Assassin's Creed series. She moved from Ubisoft to EA and now onto Google Stadia, and she was one of the people that they definitely hyped up the most. In fact, there were a lot of articles even being written about the fact that they're going to be doing a first-party project by Jade Raymond. It seems like she was going to basically try and make her own version of Assassin's Creed, you know, a big old open world stuff. They're going to reimagine a new generation of games. Like, basically the idea behind this was definitely that Jade Raymond was going to try and make something that could only exist on Stadia. Now, originally during their stage presentation, they were showing things like a 1,000-person battle royale or something, you know, like something where it would be too advanced, but only Google servers could really handle it. So the fact that Jade Raymond has now been basically fired, yeah, it definitely sounds like this is the end of Stadia. Let me just be brutally honest here for a second and say that this is a bit funny to me, because it's just such a obviously bad experiment. This is just such a bad plan from the very start, but clearly the reason I actually had to make this video is this last part right here, which is that Google is still wanting to run Google Stadia. It's still going to have a monthly fee, but they're not going to be releasing any new exclusive games. However, if people still want to sign their games and sell their stuff on Google Stadia, they're going to allow it. So really what's going to happen is now they're just going to make it where it's going to be like Netflix. But the big reason that Netflix became a success, in case you didn't know, is their exclusive content. Netflix uses their money. In fact, they use like 99% of their money, if you ever look at their financials, to make new shows. They're constantly trying to greenlight bigger projects, crazier stuff with bigger actors as a way to bring in new monthly users. The fact that Google Stadia has basically decided to cancel their own custom programming in favor of just signing on other people, this is so obviously a death sentence. Google Stadia is dead. Like, straight up from the very beginning, I've said it's dead. From the very start, I knew that this was an idea that was going to end as a plane wreck, but here we are, seeing the dramatic ending conclusion. There is no way that this is going to live. I don't care, like, if they're going to try and keep this afloat. I don't care how long the servers stay on. It's dead. Google Stadia is definitely dead. All the people that left me comments on videos a million years ago being like, it's actually gonna take over the industry, you were wrong. Eat it. This is me actually dancing on the grave, okay? Physical games, baby. In fact, I even tweeted out today the fact that every game should have a physical release. I enjoyed the Medium that came out on Xbox recently, and I wish it was on my shelf instead of as just my Games Pass library. Physical games rule, digital games are second place, and cloud games, well, maybe those will be decent in the future. But for now, screw them. Thanks so much for watching, gamers. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all, and keep dreaming. I've been doing something recently, which is that whenever I get a game that's digital, if I have something like digitally, because I am a physical game collector, I've been buying some like printing out like box art. That way I can still have it on my game collection, because that's how much of a physical gaming nerd I am. I have fake physical games. I don't know. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, you know, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.